Hey everybody, it's Mike from the Movie Tyme Guys, and we are back here with another Movie Tyme Minute segment, and we're super excited. In this segment, we're going to feature the movie that's going to be playing at our theaters, and shows and show times are right above me here, and it's called Winter Hymns. And we've got the director and writer, Nathan Deming, right over here. He's in New York City right now, but he was born and raised in Wisconsin. You're based in California, right? Based in California. We're also going to be interviewing some of the actors from the film. Hey, Nathan, tell me a little bit about how this started. How did it come about that you wanted to do this film?
So Winter Hymns has been a project that I've wanted to do for a long time because it's based on my dad's work. My dad was a palliative care physician in Eau Claire, Wisconsin, and he did that after being a family practice doctor for about 25 years. And I wasn't really familiar with palliative care. A theme of the film is a lot of people don't know what palliative care is, but people who do know, they know. So
Yeah.
once my dad was doing that, I suddenly realized it's an incredibly rich and fascinating place where doctors are attempting to help people navigate the most difficult times in their lives, which is the end of their life, and also help families kind of figure out and come to terms with what's going on. So I thought, what better place to set a movie than in a seemingly simple room where the most intense things ever happen around that table.
Yeah, and I'm just I've got your the director's statement that you sent me here, and it's you said, from the beginning I wanted to create an emotional epic in one room, something that stripped everything away, movement, spectacle, distraction, ask what remains. We never leave the room. And the reason this is powerful to me, and we talked off the air, I was only in my early 20s when my father passed. And he was terminally ill. We didn't get all the way to hospice care because he passed before he needed it. But we were all in the room with him in the hospital room when he died. And you talk about stripping away that outside, everything that's going on around it. You're just there and you're talking with him. And at the end, of course, as they start to pass, they can't speak anymore. And after he passed, that moment, I got up and I went over to the window at the hotel. I looked out, the hospital room, and cars are going down the street and there's people walking on the sidewalk and they're standing on the street corner talking. I'm like, hey, don't you get it? I mean, my father just died. But yet that moment comes and everything just continues on. It's just such an interesting time to be there and realize, okay, everything else continues. And I don't think I grasped the importance of that time leading up to that moment. And people should take the chance to spend every second and grasp that moment, because boy, it's like that, and then that's the end. What made you want to do this in one setting like that? Was that the idea from the beginning?
Yeah, pretty early on, I got kind of really obsessed with it, and I've been really pleased and excited by how people are responding to it, because as a filmmaker in a very commercial industry, you get worried about the commercialability of the film.
Yeah.
But everybody who's seen it has really responded to it, and not one person has been like, why is it in one room? I think it's an incredibly it's a pressure cooker, which is also just helpful dramatically, but I think it was like an incredibly apt metaphor for what the characters are going through, because we're following one doctor over one day as she meets with a series of dying patients and their families. So they're stuck in their situation, and we're stuck with them.
Yeah.
Obviously, we're all going to be there one day. So it's like asking the audience to also ask, what will I be saying in that room, or what will be going on between me and my relatives? So I just thought it was a really powerful metaphor.
Yeah, and that's how I could relate to it, because it was powerful for us those last minutes. And I think the idea is of the concept, how you did it. And that's why everybody that watches the film, everybody that's out there listening, you've dealt with the loss of a family member or a friend. Everybody's dealt with it. Everybody deals with it in a different way, of course. But to that last moment, to all be together and to just let that all flow into one, I think that's what makes it powerful, and probably why it grabs people. Your film grabs people.
Yeah, and I think we just don't really talk about death as a society. We brush it under the rug, and obviously, I understand why it's incredibly uncomfortable and painful to think about and talk about. But that's what I've been really excited about so far. The response to the film is like, I think it's been a place for people to. I mean, all films do that, right? About different stories, we get to see things from our own life, and for some reason, palliative care is really unrepresented in media and TV. It's been a couple of documentaries, but there's been no films about it.
Yeah.
And so I just thought it was just such a ripe opportunity. The other thing I really liked about setting it in one room is that it was very important to me that it was set in Wisconsin. And as a filmmaker, then it's fun because I get to create Wisconsin in the room. That room could be anywhere, right? We
Yeah.
film it in Wisconsin, but it's the people that come through that make it feel like Wisconsin and make you go, yeah, this is home. I know that guy. I know that guy. I know that woman. And yeah.
Yeah, and it's the power of that suggestion, right? I mean, I did radio for a while, and film is similar in that if I'm telling you, oh, I see a donkey riding a tricycle eating an ice cream cone, everybody has a different vision of the donkey and what the bicycle looks like eating an ice cream cone. So putting in this setting and let the people just roll with it, everybody that's going to watch that film is going to jump into those characters and remember their losses. And I think that's, like I said, I think that's why it grasps people. I'm sure that's why it's doing so well.
Yeah, thanks. Yeah, I'm excited to see how people continue to interact with it because it's not just about death and dying. It's also about Wisconsin, and it's about. I mean, one of my side things I'm very interested in all my films, or many of my films, is trying to put a version of Wisconsin on screen. I know, I'm from a small town, Toma,
Yeah.
and I grew up not liking the media image of Wisconsin.
Like we're all carrying around a 12-pack of beer, right? Everywhere we go, we got it in our back pocket. Yeah, I hear that.
Right. Obviously, we have good beer, we have good cheese, but there's more to Wisconsin.
Yeah.
I mean, we're normal people living normal lives.
Yeah.
And there's so many characters I was really excited to get on screen in this movie, and I'm really proud to say that nearly all of our cast is from Wisconsin, and I know you'll be talking to some of them too. And it was really cool to just showcase not just the different types of people in Wisconsin, but also the amount of acting talent here, which is there's so much.
Yeah, yeah, yes, exactly. You mentioned about your father. So Vicky being a hospice nurse, I read where you said that it was uncomfortable when he would come home and he would talk about, his day-to-day dealing with, and same thing with Vicky and hospice. It's just, I know that's their day-to-day business. And it is kind of amazing how they deal with it, I guess, knowing the patient going in, you're not, the end's going to come for that patient. You're only going to have that patient for so long.
Definitely, yeah, but they also, I think, you talk to most hospice workers and they describe it as very meaningful and beautiful work. Like nearly all of them. I mean, the film shows how brutal the day is.
Yeah.
Like how difficult it is, but also by the end of it, I try to capture that feeling that so many hospice workers describe, which is they love their work, which is kind of hard to understand on the outside. But I think once you watch the film, hopefully you understand why.
Yeah, and for my wife Vicky, having lost my stepdaughter, her daughter, I think that was therapy that prepared her up because she was prepared her for that time and then beyond. And without being a hospice nurse, I think, and obviously it was difficult for her and still is, everybody, it becomes like your arm. It's a part of you. They're gone now, They describe it as a rock you put in your pocket. You always feel it, and you take it out and you look at it and you put it back. It's always there. And I think that helped prepare her for it. So one thing, I want to read your final statement here, which you talk about Wisconsin. I think this is really awesome. For me, Winter Hymns is not only a meditation on death, but a portrait of life as it lived and felt in Midwest Wisconsin, quietly, earnestly, and in deep resilience. That really tells the story, doesn't it? You always want to put your hometown twist into it.
Yeah, I think that's a part of our personality. I thought for years, I was like, nobody's made this film yet, this kind of movie. What would the French version of this movie be like? What would the New York version, And I kind of have them in my head, but I thought there's just, obviously it's just coming from me too, wanting to make it from Wisconsin, about Wisconsin. And one thing I like about Wisconsin is I think generally we're more repressed with our emotions. We're kind of
Yeah.
stoic, and to me that made a very interesting landscape to play with these characters who, Midwest nice, brush
Yeah.
things under the rug and stuff. And how do we handle like these, incredibly difficult and challenging times?
Yeah. And when people go and say, "Oh, you must be from the Midwest. Your accent's Midwest," I always think, I have an accent? But I guess we do, right?
I
Well,
don't know it until I'm on the phone with my mom, and then I say milk.
yeah.
Okay, and then I'm like, oh yeah,
Yeah.
there's the accent, yeah.
Yeah, exactly. Or you say, "Would you like some more or no?" And people go, "Wait, what? Or no?"
And I apologize for everything I do, and then people go, why are you apologizing? I'm like, I don't know, I'm from the West, I just apologize. Sorry.
Yeah, exactly. Well, Nathan, I'm going to let you go because I know you're in New York and super busy. We appreciate so much you taking time. I'm looking forward to meeting and talking to actors from your film. And I'm sure we're going to catch up and be doing this again with another film, probably not that far in the future.
Yeah, hopefully. And thanks again for hosting us. We're really excited to be screening in not just Green Bay and De Pere, but Chilton as well.
Yeah, awesome. Be safe out there.
All right, thanks.